Why is it that the ones who love the deepest, the ones who feel every emotion like a storm in their chest, always seem to attract the very people who destroy them? It's the same pattern, over and over again. You give, they take. You heal, they wound. And somewhere, in the silence of your own thoughts, you ask yourself, why me? This isn't random. It isn't bad luck. It's not because you are weak. It's because there is a forbidden truth buried deep in psychology and philosophy that explains exactly why empaths are magnets for narcissists. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." And this fate, the empath's fate, feels like a curse, a cycle of being misunderstood, betrayed, and drained. But what if this curse could be broken? What if the very thing that makes you vulnerable could be turned into the greatest source of power you will ever hold? To understand why empaths attract narcissists, we must step into the shadows of the human psyche, where desire, trauma, and hidden wounds collide. What does it truly mean to be an empath? It's not just about being sensitive. It's not simply about crying at sad movies or feeling the mood in a crowded room. For the true empath, sensitivity is survival. From a young age, you learned to scan the emotional weather of the people around you. You could feel the storms before they broke. You could sense the danger before it had a name. This ability became your shield, your armor. You adapted by feeling more, noticing more, absorbing more, and in doing so, you became the healer, the one who carries the pain of others as if it were your own. Carl Jung described this as the archetype of the wounded healer, the one who helps others not despite their wounds, but because of them. Empaths are healers because they have lived through suffering themselves. Their gift is born in fire, but every gift carries a shadow. When you feel too much, you also bleed too much. Your heart is wide open, and the world knows it. You attract the broken, the lost, and the hungry, and among them, one figure always emerges, the narcissist. Because if you are the healer, they are the destroyer. If you are the giver, they are the taker. The empath's curse is this: your greatest strength, your endless capacity to love, becomes the very weakness that draws predators to your light. And so the question rises, if you carry so much healing inside you, why does your path always cross with those who wound? Who is the narcissist? They are not simply confident people. They are not merely ambitious. No, the narcissist is an actor wearing the most convincing mask, a mask of charm, a mask of strength, a mask of certainty. On the surface, they seem magnetic. They draw people in with words that drip like honey, with eyes that promise admiration, with a presence that feels larger than life. But beneath this polished mask lies something terrifying: emptiness. Carl Jung spoke of the persona, the face we show to the world. For the narcissist, this persona is everything. It is a carefully constructed illusion designed to hide the shadow, insecurity, shame, fear of worthlessness. They project power outward because inside they feel powerless. To you, the empath, their mask looks familiar. It feels like someone finally sees you, finally values you. But it's a trick of the light. They don't truly see you. They see your energy. They see your openness as fuel for their hunger. Narcissists crave control the way drowning men crave air. They will take your kindness and twist it into chains. They will drink your compassion like water, but never quench their thirst. Their love is not love, it is transaction. It is extraction. And this is where the trap begins. You are drawn to their mask, The performance they play so well. You believe you can heal the wounds behind their armor. You think your love will be enough. But every time you give, their emptiness only deepens, and their hunger only grows. They shine like glass, but inside they are hollow. And when your light meets their shadow, a dangerous chemistry forms. The question is no longer, who is the narcissist? The question becomes, why do you keep colliding with them? Why do empaths and narcissists find each other again and again like moth and flame? The answer lies in the invisible magnetism of unmet wounds. Psychology calls it trauma bonding, two broken patterns colliding, locking together in a dance that feels like destiny. For the empath, the wound is the need to heal others in order to feel worthy. For the narcissist, the wound is the endless hunger to be adored, to fill the emptiness that can never be satisfied. When these two meet, the connection feels electric. The empath feels needed, chosen, essential. The narcissist feels adored, fed, complete for a moment. It's a cycle of illusion. In reality, the empath is pouring themselves into a bottomless void, while the narcissist feeds and feeds, never offering nourishment in return. Carl Jung would call this projection. The empath projects hope onto the narcissist. If I heal them, I heal myself. The narcissist projects power onto the empath. If I control them, I am strong. Two illusions, one trap. And yet, it feels irresistible. The empath sees a broken soul they believe they can fix. The narcissist sees an endless well of energy to drain. It is not love, it is gravity. A pull so strong it blinds both to the danger until the cycle has already begun. This is why it feels like fate. Why you say to yourself, I don't know why I'm drawn to them, I just am. Because in truth, it is not conscious choice, it is unconscious compulsion. The unhealed part of you reaches for the unhealed part of them. But this is not connection. It is captivity. The more you love, the more they consume. The more they consume, the weaker you become. So ask yourself, is it truly love, or is it a trap designed by your past? And if it is a trap, what does that say about the darkness inside both of you? What you are caught in is not just psychology, it is philosophy written into the human condition. Nietzsche once warned, beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. This is the empath's hidden danger. In trying to heal the narcissist, you step into their chaos. You wrestle with their darkness. And in the struggle, you risk losing yourself. Arthur Schopenhauer spoke of the will to life and endless striving, a hunger that never ends. For the empath, that hunger is the desperate need to give, to prove worth through sacrifice. For the narcissist, the hunger is inverted, a desperate need to take, to consume, to dominate. Both are slaves to the same force, just reflected in opposite mirrors. Carl Jung would call this the meeting of shadows. The empath denies their own wounds, hiding them beneath service and compassion. The narcissist denies their emptiness, hiding it beneath power and control. When these two shadows meet, the bond is intoxicating, destructive, and almost impossible to break. Philosophers remind us what appears as love may actually be compulsion. What feels like destiny may actually be pathology. The empath is drawn not to the narcissist's love, but to their neediness. The narcissist is drawn not to the empath's soul, but to their vulnerability. This is the forbidden paradox. The relationship feels profound because it is two halves of suffering locking together. You think you found completion, but you only found a mirror of your deepest wound. And yet there is power in knowing this, because once you see the pattern, once you name the monster behind the mask, you begin to reclaim choice. But to understand how deep this goes, we must look at the forbidden truth itself, the secret reason empaths attract narcissists again and again. Here it is, the truth most people never want to face. Empaths do not attract narcissists by accident. They attract them because deep in the unconscious, there is an unhealed wound that keeps calling them back to the fire. Carl Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The empath's fate is not random. It is repetition. A cycle born in childhood, often from homes where love was conditional, where you had to earn affection, where peace came only when you silenced your own needs. You learned to survive by giving, by healing, by making yourself useful. And now, as an adult, that survival strategy feels like love. You are drawn to those who wound you because somewhere, hidden deep inside, you believe if you can finally heal them, you will finally prove you are enough. This is the forbidden truth. Empaths are addicted to saving others because saving becomes proof of worth. And the narcissist, they are addicted to taking because control becomes proof of existence. It is a perfect storm. Your unconscious wound seeks their unconscious hunger. Your light feeds their shadow. And together, you both replay the same script again and again until one of you breaks it. This is why it feels like destiny. Why every time you say, "never again," you find yourself in the same trap with a different face. Because it is not about them, it is about the part of you that still needs healing. But here is the hope. Once the pattern is exposed, it loses its power. Once you see the strings, you can cut them. The empath must face their shadow, the part of them that believes love must be earned through sacrifice. Until that happens, the narcissist will always find you. This truth is painful. It is forbidden because it forces you to look inward, not outward. But it is also liberating because once you heal the wound, the trap dissolves. The question now is, how do you break free from a cycle that has defined your very identity? Breaking free is never clean. It is not a single decision, a single day, a single moment. It is war inside your own heart. At first comes denial. They will change. My love will be enough. This time will be different. You cling to the hope because the alternative, accepting the truth, feels like death. Then comes awakening. The mask slips. You see the emptiness in their eyes, the coldness in their control. Something inside you whispers, "This is not love. This is captivity." And yet, even with the truth before you, the chains still tighten. Because trauma bonds are not broken by reason, they are broken by courage. Next comes relapse. You leave, then you return. You block them, then you answer their call. You swear it's over, then you fall back in. The empath's curse is that your compassion keeps pulling you back into the fire. But each cycle leaves scars. Each scar whispers louder, "You are losing yourself." And slowly, painfully, you begin to realize that the greatest danger is not the narcissist, it is the part of you that refuses to let go. This is the turning point of the hero's journey, the moment where suffering becomes fuel, the moment where pain becomes a teacher. To escape, you must accept this truth. Liberation is not about saving them, it is about saving yourself. And once you take that step, the path of transformation begins. Every hero's journey reaches a point where the old self must die. For the empath, this death is the end of self-sacrifice as an identity. It is the moment you finally whisper to yourself, I cannot save them, but I can save me. The transformation begins with boundaries. At first, they feel unnatural, like building walls where you once left doors wide open. Saying no feels selfish. Walking away feels cruel. But boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are love, love directed at yourself. Carl Jung called this process individuation, integrating the shadow, facing the parts of yourself you once denied. For the empath, this means confronting the wound that says, I am only worthy when I am needed. You bring that voice into the light, you question it, you challenge it, and then something shifts. The empath who once bled for others begins to stand tall. The healer becomes the alchemist, turning pain into power. No longer do you rush to fix everyone's chaos. No longer do you trade your peace for someone else's storm. Instead, you learn the language of self-respect. You begin to recognize manipulation not as love, but as poison. You start to feel the difference between genuine connection and hunger disguised as affection. The awakening is not gentle. It is fire. It burns away illusions. It sears through denial. But from that fire, a stronger self emerges. A self that does not seek worth in saving broken people, but in creating a life that honors their own soul. This is the rebirth of the empath, not as prey, not as victim, but as sovereign. And when you awaken, the energy changes. The very light that once attracted predators now repels them. Because a healed empath is no longer a target. A healed empath is untouchable. And that is the beginning of power. What happens when the empath finally awakens? The same heart that once bent and broke for others now stands unshaken. The same sensitivity that once felt like a curse becomes a weapon of clarity. You no longer absorb everyone's chaos. You observe it from a distance without losing yourself in the storm. This is the stage of power. The empowered empath no longer confuses sacrifice with love. They know that true love is mutual, balanced, and free of chains. They no longer chase those who drain them. Instead, they attract those who honor them. The energy has shifted. Nietzsche once said, "Become who you are." For the empath, this means stepping into authenticity without apology. It means no longer shrinking to fit fragile egos, no longer bleeding to keep someone else whole. You no longer exist as a mirror for others' shadows. You exist as your own flame. And something miraculous happens. The narcissists, who once swarmed like moths, no longer find you. Your healed boundaries repel them. Your light is no longer food for predators, it is a signal fire for equals. Those who come now are not drawn to exploit you, but to stand with you. The very wound that once cursed you has become your source of power. The hunger for validation is gone. The cycle of captivity is broken. You are no longer trying to prove you're worthy, you live it. The empowered empath is rare, unbreakable, dangerous to the manipulator, but magnetic to the awakened. Because you no longer seek love as rescue, you embody love as freedom. This is the transformation the narcissist never expected. The prey becomes sovereign. The healer becomes untouchable. And the empath, once cursed, becomes the alchemist of their own destiny. So hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are rare. The world may have tried to convince you that your empathy is weakness, but it was never weakness. It was power waiting to be refined. The forbidden truth is this: your light was never meant to feed their shadow. It was meant to guide your own path and to ignite those who walk beside you, not those who chain you. If this message resonates, it is because you are part of a hidden tribe. The outsiders, the deep thinkers, the ones who see what others ignore. This space is yours, a place where pain is not dismissed, but transformed into wisdom. I want to hear your story. Have you faced the narcissist's trap? Have you felt this magnetic pull? Share it in the comments. Your voice may be the spark that frees someone else. And if you are ready to walk this path of awakening with others like you, subscribe. Join this tribe of outsiders who refuse to live blind, who choose truth over illusion, power over captivity. Remember, you are not here to be consumed. You are here to become untouchable,